Yo, what is going on, guys? Jordy back with another T3 video. So as one of the arena creators, we have early access to the Chinese test servers, which means I get to show you guys early things, early looks at all the different things they're bringing to the game. So today we're going to be taking a look at Fort, the brand new tank hero that was introduced yesterday. And we're going to look at all of his abilities. We're going to look at everything he does and just a couple of my opinions that I think how he'll play out in the meta. So let's jump over to his character screen and I'll show you guys all of his ability info. All right, guys, so here he is in your heroes selection screen, and let's go ahead and click on him. It says that he's unlocked from rumble boxes. We kind of figured that was going to be the case, but here he is. He looks super cool. He's such a big hero, and like he embodies like the idea of a tank. And so let's check out his ability info. His gun is called the antimatter missile, and we kind of saw this in yesterday's showcase, but it fires 4 missiles. They'll stick to surfaces or other like opponents, and they'll blow up after a few seconds. So initially it's going to be doing 500 damage. It does an AoE effect of 500 damage, and his gun actually has 20 capacity, which is super awesome. Now it bursts in 4 bullets or 4 like plasma balls, so it's really only like 5 bullets, but it shoots 20 plasma missile ball things, and they're super cool. This thing is actually pretty crazy, so I'm going to show you guys that. His active ability is called Antimatter Barrier. He basically deploys a barrier, and it stops incoming fire. It has health just like Jabali's shield, just like Ruby's shield, and it lasts 20 seconds. So if it doesn't blow up or if it doesn't take enough damage to die or break, then it will stay on the field for 20 seconds. And you kind of have like some cool placements you can do with it. So his ultimate ability is called Gravity Swirl. Basically, he drops down this bomb, and it like has like a singularity effect where it pulls people in, it pulls opponents in, it deals damage. It's like an AoE damage, and then it kind of just dissipates. When I saw it, I initially thought that it was going to be blowing up, but it doesn't blow up. It just deals damage over time for 4 seconds, and then it gives you that opportunity to also like shoot your enemies. This is a really good ultimate. And then his passive ability, which is what we were all kind of wondering yesterday, basically it says receives a temporary shield if not taking damage for 5 seconds, which that temporary shield's 1,000. This is really strong. It basically like almost full heals him. I'll show you kind of how he works with that and some different clips and stuff of like all of these working and their ranges and their cooldown rates and stuff like that. So let's jump over to the training grounds where I can test him, and I'll give you guys a little showcase. Let's do it. All right, guys, so here is Fort in game. We're in the testing grounds or the training grounds, and I gotta say, man, he embodies the idea of a tank character. He has this overshield off the get-go, and it does regenerate, which is really cool. I asked my Discord server last night what they wanted to see. I was kind of showcasing some things in Discord last night when we got the access to the test server, and I was like, what do you guys want to see? So I have a couple of like a list of things that we're going to go over. The first one was how far and how fast can the shield be thrown. So we're going to actually come over here into this little area where the victors are, because we have like the markers on the ground that we can actually showcase how far this goes. So when you hold your ability button, it will show this little like orb thing, and the farthest you can throw it is about 15-ish meters. I would be technically on like meter 2 because of just how big he is. So it goes to about 16 meters. I can't go any further, as you can see. That's as far as I can throw it. And basically when you throw it, it pops down, and you can shoot through this. So you can like shoot these victors, and it stays for 20 seconds or until it breaks. It has 8,400 health. The health might go up depending on what level you have the character at, but since I'm just testing the character because I don't own him, I think its base health is just 8,400. All right, so I'm gonna hide my camera so you guys can see this a little better, but look right here. That's his ability. So I'm gonna hide this, and when I activate it, it has an 8-second cooldown. So every 8 seconds you'll be able to pop the shield, which is actually very fast. And basically, if it doesn't die, it stays for 20 seconds, and you can get another shield like on cooldown, and then say like it disappears or it goes away, you can just pop another one, and it will make the first one disappear. So that's kind of how his shield works. His gun is really cool as well. He basically deals damage with these little sticky bombs, and then they blow up after a few seconds. You can stick them to surfaces, and it shoots 4 at a time. So these are pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. Let's come over here to the mark. If I deal 1 burst of damage to this mark, it ends up killing him. So the 4 bullets deal a ton of damage and is on burst fire with 20 bullets. So it's pretty nuts the amount of damage you can actually put out with this thing. It's pretty strong. Another cool thing that I like about his gun, let's come up here for a second. So his gun's range is kind of crazy. I can shoot at this back wall and they will all go over there and they'll all blow up. So you have a pretty far range with this thing, which is pretty awesome. So I can imagine like a couple of different maps in team deathmatch where you could like shoot across the map and get like a nice little like damage on people around corners and stuff. It's pretty crazy. Another cool thing with his shield I wanted to show you guys real quick is you can actually place it on lower surfaces as well as higher surfaces. So you could, in theory, like pop the shield to help teammates that are at a higher surface or vice versa to a lower surface. So that's one thing I really like about his shield. As for his ultimate ability, this is when things get a little crazy. So let's come down here to these victors and I will show you guys how it works. But basically, I can hold my ultimate ability and it has a little bit further of a range than his shield. But as soon as I let this go, it immediately activates. So if I let this go right here next to this victor, it'll pull him in. It deals some damage. And that's all it does. It just does a little bit of tick damage. It doesn't initial, like I thought it was going to blow up once it got to its like top of its explosion. I thought it was going to blow up, but it doesn't blow up. It just deals like area of effect damage and it pulls them in. So the cool thing about that is you could pop it and then, you know, communicate with your team. Okay, everyone focus my ult because they're all stuck together in a section, in an area. All right, so I got my ability recharged and I'm going to do it again for you guys. So I can put it right here on this victor. He'll get sucked in and then I can deal damage to him. And that extra tick damage just helps you like secure kills. So you could imagine having like 3 enemies all like vortexed into one section and then just everyone focus firing them. And the cooldown is pretty long, but it's very powerful of an ultimate. So it kind of makes sense that it's really long. Okay, so I turned auto fire off because I want to show you guys how his shield works. So if Mark starts dealing damage to me and then I get away from him, you can see at the bottom that my shield will start to recharge and then I'll get that overshield. And depending on how much damage you take, that overshield won't fully max out to 9,800. It'll stop a little short. So it just depends on how weak you are. So like, I'll give you an example. If he deals a lot more damage to me, well, okay, Victor. Trying to test things here, bud. So if he deals a ton of damage to me and I get really low, so let's say around 840 health, it will then start to regenerate my health and then that overshield will kick in and it will stop at a certain rate. So it still gives you a ton of health back, but it doesn't give me the full amount. But if I hit a health pack, it will give me more and then fully finish my health part out, which will then max my overshield. So he has the overshield right off the bat. Like that is just something that he has. It's not a passive happening or anything. However, his passive ability will heal you more. It'll give you more of an overshield. All right, so I'll show you guys his ult one more time, but I'm kind of gonna do it in like a scenario sense. So like this Victor's coming at me, so I'm gonna pop this down. I'm gonna pop his ult right here. We can pull in the Victor, and then I can deal damage to him and secure the kill. This guy also got a little sucked in at the end of it, so I can kill this Victor too. He deals a ton of damage. His shield is super dope. It lasts a very long time, which is gonna be kind of scary if you have that team comp whenever we get 5v5s of like Ruby and Jabali and Fort and then maybe like a healer and a DPS or something. It's gonna be pretty crazy. So I really like this hero. I think this hero is super good. I think he's going to have a really interesting role in the meta, especially if you get him to level 10 where he is going to be getting like more health and all that stuff. He's going to be pretty fun. I really, really enjoy the concept of this hero, the concept of this tank. Like they really made him a beefy dude. He feels like I'm playing a tank. Like if I play Victor, I don't feel like I'm playing a tank character. I feel like a tank with this guy. He's like slow, but he's still like bulky. I can throw my shield down. I can throw my ult. He's gonna get pulled in. I can still do damage. it's just, he's a good time. He's a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to really like him when he launches in mid-September. Probably in about a week or so, we'll get him. And I think you guys are really going to like him a lot. I mean, like, look at this Mark. That Mark's dead. See you later, Mark. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Fort Showcase. If you guys have any questions about Fort, drop them down in the comments because I would love to answer your questions. Like I said, I have early access on the Chinese test servers, so I'm able to play the character. Even if it's only in the training grounds, I am able to play the character and kind of run around and test his abilities and kind of see how he's going to perform in the game and just all of the things, the damage numbers, the cooldown rates, how he feels as a character. He feels so tanky. It works so well. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people were worried that he's just basically going to replace Ruby. I still think Ruby has a place in the meta because her shield like travels. You can put it high, you can put it low, and it will stay that height and still travel and stuff. So I think Ruby still has a place in the meta. I don't think he's going to replace Jabali. I think they have very different ideas, very different like mechanics, to where having him and having a Jabali is going to be scary. Having him with a comp of DPS is going to be scary. I think he's going to pair really, really well with Chemist, especially with his ult, where you can drop his ult, suck people in, and then Chemist can just do all that splash damage on top of him dealing damage. I think he's going to be really good. I don't think he's going to necessarily be broken. If his ultimate like sucked everyone in and then like dealt damage over time and then blew up and did like a huge burst of damage, I think he might be pretty overpowered. But it doesn't do that. It just does a like tick damage and then it just kind of dissipates. But it allows your team to kind of sit there and shoot and get that like extra damage in and stuff, and have like a stationary target. All right, guys, leave a like on the video, subscribe for more T3, and leave a comment down below any questions about Fort. I will gladly answer them. Also, stay tuned for the next video where we're going to be opening this week's lucky draw, and hopefully we get the Void Warlock skin for Hunter. I think it's going to be a good skin. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up later today as well. But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments about Fort. And as always, peace out, guys.